Hi friends, Allie here. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to crochet this lime cuddler. It's made with Bernat Blanket yarn, so it's super soft and cuddly, and to make it extra cute, you can add safety eyes and a mouth. This lime plushie measures approximately 7 inches by 10 inches, and be sure to come back next week where we're going to make an even bigger lemon version. If you're ready to get started, let's head over to our supply list and let's get making. For supplies, we'll need Bernat Blanket or Baby Blanket yarn in green. The color I'm using today is called Little Leaf, and it's a limited edition color only available at Michael's, so I'll leave a link to that down below, but this color is almost identical to a color called Lemon Lime, so I'm going to leave an Amazon link to that one as well. You can also substitute with any super bulky 6-weight yarn. We'll also need an 8mm or L hook, a stitch marker, scissors, a yarn needle, and polyfill for stuffing. And if you want to add a face to your lime, you'll need 16mm black safety eyes and a 6-inch strand of black medium weight yarn. We're going to start by making a magic circle. We're going to take the tail end of our yarn and wrap it around our pointer finger and our middle finger twice. When you bring it around the second time, you're going to cross it over and bring it to the back of your hand. Then grab your hook and go under the first strand, grab the second strand and pull it up. Then we're going to secure our circle with a chain 1. There is our magic circle. Now we're on to round 1, and for round 1 we are going to work 8 single crochets in the circle. We're going to work around both strands of yarn, and we're just going to single crochet 8 times in the circle. When you reach the end of round 1, we're going to take that short tail end and pull it tight to close up that hole. And then to start round 2, we're going to work straight into that very first stitch. We're not going to join at all. So we're going to work 1 single crochet into the first stitch. And then you'll want to grab your stitch marker and mark that first stitch so we know where it is. And then we're going to just work 1 single crochet into each stitch around for round 2. So at the end of round 2, our stitch count is still at 8. And again, working straight into that first stitch for round 3, we are going to work 2 single crochets into each stitch around. So after you work that first one, be sure to put your stitch marker back so you know where the beginning of the round is. And then we're going to work 2 single crochets into each stitch around for a total of 16 single crochets for round 3. At the end of round 3, our stitch count is now at 16. For round 4, we're going to work 1 single crochet into the first stitch, and then 2 single crochets into the next stitch. Then 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and then 2 single crochets into the next stitch. And we're going to repeat that all the way around for round 4. So 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and then 2 single crochets into the next stitch. At the end of round 4, our stitch count is now at 24. Now on to round 5. We're going to work 1 single crochet into the first stitch, one single crochet into the second stitch, and then 2 single crochets into the third stitch. And we're going to repeat that all the way around. So 1 single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and then 2 single crochets into the next stitch. At the end of round 5, our stitch count is now at 32. Now on to round 6. We're going to work 1 single crochet into the first 3 stitches. And then we're going to work 2 single crochets into the 4th stitch. And we're going to repeat that all the way around. So that's 1 single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches, and then 2 single crochets into the next. At the end of round 6, our stitch count is now at 40. Now on to round 7. We're going to work 1 single crochet into each of the next 4 stitches. And then we're going to work 2 single crochets into the 5th stitch. We're going to repeat that all the way around. So that's 1 single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches, and then 2 single crochets into the next stitch. At the end of round 7, our stitch count is now at 48. And this is what our lime is looking like now. And we're all done increasing now. So now for rounds 8 all the way through 18, we are just going to work 1 single crochet into each stitch around. So our stitch count is going to remain at 48. And for rounds 8 to 18, we're just going to work 1 single crochet into each stitch around. So I'm going to continue doing this, and I'm going to catch up with you guys when I reach the end of round 18. So I just reached the end of round 18, and this is what our lime is looking like now. And before I continue on to round 19, I'm going to add a face to my lime. If you don't want to add a face, then you can just continue on to round 18. But I'm going to stop here and grab my safety eyes. So I have 2 16mm black safety eyes. I got these off of Amazon. It came in a pack of 30 that came in sizes 16mm to 24mm. I'll leave a link down below for where I got this pack. So I'm going to add my eyes between rows 10 and 11 and 15 and 16. Feel free to add yours wherever you'd like. So I'm just going to count my rows and add in my eyes, and I'm going to wait to add the backings on until I add the mouth, because just in case you want to move them, once you put those backings on, they're pretty much stuck there forever. So just make sure you find the right spot first, but feel free to put them wherever you'd like. So I'm putting that first one between rows 10 and 11, and then I'm going to put the second eye between rows 15 and 16. Once you have the eyes where you'd like them, we're going to grab the black strand of yarn and thread it through our yarn needle. And we're going to use this for our smile. So I'm going to make a little V shape, and I'm going to start going in from the back and beside the left eye, and then go down 1 stitch and to the center, and then back through by the right eye, and then go back down in the center again. And there we have the smile. So once you have everything how you like it, we can secure everything now. So if you flip your lime inside out, we'll secure the black yarn with a few knots. Be sure not to pull the strands too tight so you don't want to cinch up the smile. So tie those in a few knots and then add the backings to your safety eyes, and our face is done, and we can move on to round 19. So now we're on to round 19, and for round 19 we're going to start to decrease to close up our lime. So we're going to work a single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. And then we're going to work a single crochet 2 together in the next 2 stitches. So we're going to insert our hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop, insert your hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on our hook. And that was a single crochet 2 together. So we're just going to repeat that around for round 19. We're going to work 1 single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches, and then single crochet 2 together. At the end of round 19, our stitch count is now at 40. Now on to round 20. We're going to work 1 single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. And then we're going to single crochet 2 together. And we're going to repeat that all the way around. So we're going to single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches and then single crochet 2 together. At the end of round 20, our stitch count is now at 32. Now on to round 21. We're going to work 1 single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches and then single crochet 2 together. And we're going to repeat that all the way around. So that's working 1 single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches and then single crochet 2 together. At the end of round 21, our stitch count is now at 24, and you can see we've closed it up quite a bit. So we are going to work 2 more decrease rounds. So now we're on to round 22, and we're going to work 1 single crochet into the first stitch and then single crochet 2 together. And we're going to repeat that all the way around. So 1 single crochet into the next stitch and then single crochet 2 together. At the end of round 22, our stitch count is now at 16. So we only have 1 more decrease round, but our hole at the end is getting pretty small. So before we continue on to the next round, we are going to fill our lime with our polyfill stuffing. You can add as much or as little as you'd like. The more you add, the firmer your lime will be, and the less you add, the squishier it will be. Make sure when you are adding it that you're getting it all the way at the end, all the way to the knob at the end, and just keep stuffing it until it's to your liking. You can also add a little bit more once we get to the last round, so don't worry too much about stuffing it all the way. Just make sure you're really getting it at the end and getting the majority of it in now. Once you have your lime as stuffed as you'd like, we can move on to round 23. I had to zoom you out because my lime was so big it couldn't fit under my setup, so just ignore my tripod legs on the sides there. So for round 23, we're going to work our last decrease round, and we are going to decrease in every stitch around. So we are going to work 8 single crochets, 2 together, all the way around for round 23. At the end of round 23, our stitch count is at 8, and we just have 2 more rounds. So for rounds 24 and 25, we are just going to work 1 single crochet into each stitch around. So I just finished round 25, and now we can close up our lime. So I'm just going to work a slip stitch into the next stitch and then chain 1. So now we can tie off our yarn. And you want to leave about a 6-inch strand, enough that you can weave in the ends. So I'm going to cut off my yarn, leaving a 6 to 10-inch long strand at the end. And then you can pull that through with your hook and then grab your yarn needle. And before we close up our lime, if you want to add in any more polyfill stuffing, you can do so now. If you just want to add a little bit more to the end that we just finished up, and then we will close up the end. Once you're done filling your lime, we're going to grab our yarn needle and thread our yarn through it. And then we are going to close up the end by weaving in and out of the last 8 stitches that we worked. Once you reach the end, you can pull tight to close up that hole, and then just secure your end with a few knots, and then you can weave in that end and then hide it in the inside of the lime. And then we are all done our lime cuddler. Thank you so much for following along. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. You can find this pattern and many more free patterns on my blog, whoshomemade.com. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and follow me on Instagram, and tag me in your photos so I can see your finished turtle trunk creation. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.